It's that time again. CIG are offering some really cool rewards for doing some fairly easy PvE missions. But how can we do these as fast as possible? Well folks, look no further. Today I'm going to show you how to speedrun part 1 recon of Pyro Must Burn, so that you can get these done as fast as possible. I'll give you the tips and tricks if you're a solo player or if you have access to a group. And spoiler alert, these missions are substantially faster if you have a group. So if you are looking for a community to join, I've linked the one I'm part of and help run, Frontier Consolidated, down below. With that being said, let's get down to business and I'll tell you how to get these done as fast as possible. So for anyone who doesn't know, here's a really quick overview of what Pyro Must Burn is. This is a 3-part event which takes place over 3 weeks. Every week you have to fill up a different bar of progress, and you cannot fill up bar 2 or 3 with work completed in bar 1. You can complete these missions for the headhunters or the frontier fighters, or you can complete both sides if you really want all the rewards. There's no reputation lock here, so you can get all of the cool skins for any reason. What do you get for completing this, I hear you ask? Well, I'll put the rewards up on screen, but you can get some gear for completing week 1, so if you want to dress up as a handyman, you're good to go. For week 2, you can get some ground vehicle skins, and for week 3, you can get skins for the Anvil Arrow and Crusader Spirit line. And yes, it's already been confirmed that these skins will work for all of the Spirit ships, so that's the C1, the A1 and the E1 when it finally appears. So in week 1, what do you have to do? Well, these missions are all about reconnaissance. We must find an agent, eliminate them during PvE missions. We then have to loot that body for a data pad, and then we must deliver it to a freight elevator at the assigned station. And I'll be honest, it's as easy as that. There's 3 levels of missions that pay 24, 44 or 71,000 AUEC. Each level corresponds to what CIG think is a level of difficulty, and they pay out a different level of points, which are 50, 75 and 100 points respectively. And in total, you need to get 1500 points per faction. So if you want to get both sets of skins, then you'll have to complete 3000 points worth of these missions, or 30 missions. If you're watching this video and have no friends in Star Citizen, maybe in general, I'm sorry to hear that, and you want to complete these missions alone, then there are a few tips and tricks you can do to make your life much easier. But being totally clear, best thing you can do for these missions is join a party and share the missions, because the rep doesn't get split. If you are alone, the best place you can do these missions is in Stanton, as the missions in Pyro seem to be much more bugged than they are in Stanton. There are workarounds online for how to get through the missions in Pyro, but honestly, do not bother. It's really easy to do these missions in Stanton. More so than that, I would recommend that you go to ArcCorp to do these missions. Of the recon missions here that pay 71k, only one location has a missile turret, and the rest have no turrets, so you can fly in freely into the area. And if you want to be sure, if you fly underneath 2 kilometers in altitude towards the station, the missile turrets will not shoot you. Now this is a huge time saver when it comes to moving between these location sites. And it's also where the whole mission rewards to time becomes rather counterintuitive, because the 44k missions require you to go to bunkers underground. And as we all know, bunkers underground will shoot you, and therefore you need to land far away, run in, eliminate the enemies outside, etc. But the 71k missions have no air defense apart from a few missile turrets, so it's absolutely advised that you only do these missions and do the 44k missions when necessary. Now that we know what missions we're going to do, let's talk about how to get these stacked in the most efficient way possible. Well, one great thing here is you can accept more than one mission at a time. So there's typically 2 71k missions per planet available at one time, which you can accept all at the same time if you want to. What I was always doing is accepting one mission, going down, picking up the data card, and then accepting the second mission. And the reason here is a timing difference. So if you accept both missions at the same time, the timing clock will begin on when these missions will respawn. Therefore, the most efficient manner you can do is pick them up at different times. Now, by accepting these at different times, it means the first mission will pop back up sooner. What this means is you're not waiting around for 2 missions to appear at the same time, and instead you're already travelling to your 3rd location while you're waiting for your 4th mission to respawn. And this may be a personal thing, but if you're by yourself, I would recommend focusing on one area at a time. This is because if you get halfway through Headhunters and Frontier Fighters and then get bored, you've effectively achieved nothing. Whereas if you focus on one, get it finished, and then move to the other, there's a lot smaller chance that you get bored halfway through. Now, when should you complete these missions? Well, once you've finished two 71k missions in ArcCorp, you should hand in both of these at the same time in Bikini Point. The reason for this is because there's a limited number of 71k missions per planet. And by planets, I mean ArcCorp, Crusader, Hurston, and Microtech. This basically means if you stockpile too many of these, no more missions will spawn in that area, and therefore you are bottlenecking yourself in the future, especially if there's more than one of you working in the same location. So it's really as simple as that for a solo player. But now let's talk about if you want to absolutely min-max these missions and complete your whole rep grind in under an hour. This is what I did, and to obtain this level of rep grinding, you need a few things. Number one is a large enough group, so I'd recommend a minimum of 8 people to really see results in the speedrunning here. During a recent session in Frontier Consolidated, we had 15 people, and I received roughly 4,000 points of progress within a rough 2-hour time frame. And to be clear, this wasn't a large pre-organized group. This was very much a ping I put out, and over the next hour we got 15, 18 people roughly. So the more people you have, the quicker it gets. As I mentioned earlier, finding 8 people isn't always the easiest thing to do, and if you need a hand with this, please do feel free to join the link down below as a community member. There's no obligations, but you can help yourself by speeding up these missions and also help out other people, and it's as simple as that. Let's talk about distribution. We have our minimum 8 pros ready to go. I would recommend having 2 people per planet. So have 2 in ArcCorp, 2 Crusader, 2 Hurston, 2 Microtech. And make no mistakes, the missions aren't all as easy in all locations. If you're running with a smaller group, for example 4, I would always recommend filling ArcCorp first with 2 people and then filling Crusader with 2 people. Hurston and Microtech are quite a bit slower because they have larger data facilities you need to deal with. It can slow things down, and if you get spare people or more than 8 people, I'd recommend you bolster Hurston, Microtech and Crusader next to help speed up that area. Now, with your group online, the most important thing you have to do is share every single mission. There is no benefits for gatekeeping or not sharing missions. You're only doing it to hurt other people. The process I like to abide by in my events is as follows. When I accept a mission, I share it immediately, and then I will go to the site, complete the mission, come back to Bikini Point, and then I will share the mission again and wait about a minute for anyone to accept it who may have just joined the group. You need a bit of patience at this phase because there are so many pings that will appear on your screen from people sharing that a contract shared could be a minute away, it could be 30 seconds away. So share the mission before you put your freight elevator down, wait about a minute and then send it down. By doing it this way, you should effectively find that 71k missions are constantly flowing the whole time. As the group starts to get large, you may realise there's not enough missions to fulfill your needs, at which point the 44k missions can be worth doing. Just note they take much longer, so it's not really worth accepting them unless you have dead time. Now, it can be tempted to say, well, I'm in Pyro, so I might as well do the missions here, and that's what I did at the very beginning. But please, please, please learn from my and lots of other people's mistakes. Spend the 5 minutes and go to Stanton. The missions are much easier, you have to quantum travel much shorter distances, and you're only helping yourself and your fellow teammates by doing so. There are so many bugs in the missions in Pyro, it's simply not worth doing them. To briefly touch upon what you're actually doing in these missions for people who don't know or haven't done one before, you only need 1 person per mission. They're not really hard at all. Sometimes you may find that a random player kills you in PvP, when in reality it should be PvE, but honestly, given how busy the sites are, I just turned on my local comms, shouted out for help, and within 5 minutes someone had got me up. This happened to me twice and it worked perfectly both times. At the end of the day, people may kill you accidentally, so don't immediately assume it's pirates coming to take you down or whatever, but it could be, so best of luck to you. It is what it is, and it can be resolved quickly. Pick yourself up, don't be disheartened, and move on. And if you're in a group, remember that your downtime isn't costing you as a group too much because other people are efficiently moving through their missions. Once you accept the mission, you'll either be tasked with killing an NPC and looting their body for a datapad, and then bring it back to your location station, for example, Bajini Point. The mission will send you to basically the exact same location over and over and over again. Sometimes it can be worth just quickly checking your Moby Glass to see if there are any other missions that can be completed in the same location. The other style of mission is in the exact same location, and you'll be tasked to find a data card in one of 6 locations on the floor. When doing this mission, just be really short. You pick up your data card and not someone else's, and also make sure you have the mission tracked when you pick the card up. Sometimes you will see the card will be picked up, you'll fly back to your station, and it will tell you to return to the planet. It's a really weird bug, but you just need to watch your mission tracker and make sure it's updated to say go to station. And that's really it. They are as simple as that. Now there are a few small bugs that can occur, so I'll just highlight these in case they come up for you, and hopefully you'll find your way around them really quickly. First of all, in the recon missions, the location for the data card doesn't always appear. If this happens really early on, you may just want to abandon the mission and move on. If you've done this a few times, the location is always the exact same 6 points. At this point, you might as well just have a quick run around the usual areas and see if it's on the floor. Honestly, I would just pick up any data card, pick up all the data cards on the floor, bring them all to your freight elevator and send them down, and hopefully your one's in there somewhere. Sometimes you may find that the 71k mission stops spawning for you. My solution has always been to bedlog and come back onto that server if it's a good server and worth staying on, because once you find a good server, I really wouldn't recommend you leave until you finish your whole rep grind. Most of the servers are good, but a few of the people in the org have found some that are a bit bad, so feel free to jump around. But in general, ArcCorp is really reliable. And as I mentioned earlier, there is only a limited number of the 71k missions running at one time in a site. Before you think they're bugged, just see how many are accepted in the area. If it's any more than 4, you've probably hit the limit and you need to hand some of these in. I really hope this has been helpful, folks. If it has, please do consider leaving me a like, comment, subscribe. I'm very much trying to get back into this, and I've already managed to lose my voice, so that hasn't gone well, but here we are. If you found these tips helpful, or you'd like to share any of your own, please do feel free to leave them in the comments below, and once the week 2 missions come out, I'll be sure to make another video to get you guys through those as fast as possible.